Welcome everyone to another RGL cast. My name is Jarrett and I'm here with SpaceOS to bring you guys like a G6 versus GlobalClan Ice. This is RGL Invite 6's Season 7, Week 4A, and we're back after a bit of a break and we're going into a hot one which will be pretty important for the playoff run, Space Ghost.
Yeah, we are going to a pretty important match here. We do have two teams that are projected to make playoffs here, and I will say that I think like a G6 has so far been probably pretty happy with their season's going, and GlobalClan Ice, they have some bad losses, but also some big important wins. So I think they're gonna really hope they can get back into form and get a little bit of an upset maybe against G6.
Yep, gonna have to give it all you got. But before we go too deep into talking about predictions in the map, I guess I'll say right now the map is gonna be Sunshine, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the rosters. I'll go ahead and go over. I'll pick the GCI roster. So for GCI, we have Zam and Shamu on Scout, Speedy and Ether on Soldier, Exile on Demo, and Sky on Medic.
And for like a G6, we have Bot Mode on Scout, Caps also on Scout, Soapy and Recurso on Soldier, Logan on Demo, and Howard on Medic.
Yeah, as I always say, a lot of talent on both these rosters, plenty of playoff appearances on both sides. So it makes sense that, you kind of look at both these teams and be like, yeah, they'll probably get playoffs at the end. But, there's a lot of close competition this season, so it's not necessarily guaranteed. So winning this matchup is going to be pretty important. When you think about both these teams in particular and their road so far, we're nearing the halfway point in the season. So we got some actual substance to look back on and how they've been doing in their first couple weeks as like newly created teams. At least for the most part, there's some fragments of, coordination that's existed in past seasons. But the side of G6, I think they've been pretty comfortable with their wins so far. They've, had some close ones, or at least gotten respectable rounds against some of the upper teams and been pretty dominant versus some of the lower to mid teams as well. But they've had some pretty uncomfortable close ones. I think they had a Snakewater game versus my enemy list that was like they only won by one round. It was 2-1. That was pretty close. You'd think that I guess my enemy list is also another team that you could consider in the playoff running. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it definitely shows that they're not guaranteed their slot despite this being a monstrous roster.
Yeah, and I'd say speaking of not being guaranteed a slot, I'd consider I think going to the season GlobalClan I set pretty high hopes, and I think they definitely had a little bit of a stumble out of the gate, I would say.
Metalworks week.
Yeah, Metalworks week they had sometimes you don't like a particular map, and they lost. They had upsets against GlobalClan Fire and Milky's, both teams who I think otherwise you'd probably consider GlobalClan Ice to be the favorites to beat, but they had lost 5-4 on both of them, and that's got to be absolutely heartbreaking. But onto a new map.
I think they beat Milky's, but they were both 5. Yeah,
but they still dropped 4 rounds.
Yeah, they dropped 4 rounds. It's one of those scenarios where you learn that it's probably is a map you shouldn't be playing, but you learn that after it's already been picked. So a bit unfortunate for them, but I'm sure they got plenty of practice to figure out what they need to change. And yeah, it definitely shows that they also are not necessarily guaranteed a spot because they've they got an upset win to go up against. So going on to Sunshine, a little bit of different than a map than Metalworks and Snakewater. I would definitely say very much more open. You got any initial thoughts when you think about teams playing this map in particular and its differences between other maps in the pool?
Well, I'd say it's definitely a scout map, but that also doesn't mean I think this map's kind of I think this is one of those maps you kind of really have to commit on Soldier. Like, you kind of sometimes I feel like there's places to land, but you kind of sometimes just have to faceplant into enemies. You can really high bomb and go super deep if you want to. And I think this is also I'd say on a more relevant note, this is one of those maps where I'd say it is pretty impactful to go behind. It's not it's not like Granny or anything where it's super impactful, but definitely we might see some players running around behind creating chaos on this map.
That's true. This is one of those maps where even I guess it was more prominent in previous versions of Sunshine because some of the layout was a little bit different in terms of lobby and stuff. But even now in this version, I think there's still plenty of teams that will deliberately like shove people into Cafe or into Valley really late to try to get people behind and go for those back caps. And even with the changes in the way that lobby is structured, all those years ago, you can still find a way to snake your way around and go for some sort of, back cap shenanigans. So it's definitely in the cards, but you definitely have to make sure that you're winning these mid fights, which are pretty unique in themselves. Not a whole lot of props to really work with, spare the hut Tetris and the tower. Otherwise it's pretty much just open flat ground for you to kind of run around on, which makes sense. A little bit of a scout heaven, like you said before, but you got to win those mids if you want to put yourself in that position where you can actually get your last pushes going in the first place.
Yeah, you do. And I'd say another interesting note on this map, especially on the mid, it's Yeah, it's not super important, but it's definitely one of the things you have to be concerned about. Is the fast bombs of this map are, pretty. I don't know if unique's the word, but
They're
sometimes
scary.
yeah, they're scary. If
Demos
you're
don't
in
have health
demo,
packs.
yeah, if you show up to mid and there's a soldier in the skybox, you have to hit the perfect surf, or you will almost certainly die, and it's really tragic. Unless you want to go Valley, which is its own, can of worms. It's very scary, and I'd expect Soapy Meister to do it at least once, where he just face plants into the enemy choke before anyone else arrives there.
I would be kind of surprised if GCI or not GCI, if G6. I don't know if they'll do it in the match per se, but at least them thinking about doing double fast for Soapy and Rakuso, like that was probably something they at least talked about whether or not they're actually going to do in the match, because that's extremely scary. That seems like a surefire way to make sure the enemy demo is completely dead. Although you want to make sure you don't, feed your soldiers or anything, but
Yeah.
even then, it's not like the worst of trades.
Yeah, there's also the Freo. I've heard it referred to as the Freo mid. I don't know what the terminology is these days, but it's where you have both your soldiers and your demo go out really fast, and the enemy team gets through choke, and there's just like infinite projectiles shooting at you. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Both the players fast roll out and just spam choke as everyone walks through. That's another classic mid that we might see. We never know.
Yeah, the thing about mid fights in general is depending on the rollout, it can be really important to make sure that you can fight early if it's kind of forced upon you. This was something that kind of existed when Badlands was in the pool, because soldiers would go fast on Badlands, and then there'd be a short moment where there's a 2v1, and that demo will probably either 1, lose the 2v1 and just die, or 2, not exist, which means the other demo gets free reign to just kind of
just lock you out.
Yeah, and that exists on this map in the same degree. Let's take an example of a team that's like, no, we don't like to fast roll out. We like to have our soldiers completely buffed with 300. Okay, so there's going to be a time frame where your demo man's the only person at mid. The other team, what if they're like, no, let's buff up our soldiers. Let's do a double fast rollout. There's a moment there where there's literally a 3v1 happening, where it's either going to A, get your solo demo man killed, or B, he's going to be hiding so far back enough to where your own team's demo will just stand on the point and spam with a choke and just pipe pre-fire people in the choke, or at least do tons of roller damage to the stacked players that are probably all bunched up there, since that's the main rollout, unless you're doing some Valley play. So
Yeah,
that's kind of what the main, maybe not the exact execution, but the main concept when you were referencing a Froyo style mid that's super aggressive. If you can find a way to get a lot of your teammates to mid quickly, depending on the rollout, in a way that they can still heavily participate, you can just win the mid before it even starts, which is a single kill or just a small amount of spam in the right spot.
definitely. And we'll say, I think that my other favorite form of mid, briefly, I guess conclude my talk about mids, or our talk, is I had a teammate refer to as the toilet bowl mid, where both teams kind of rotate around, and then you get stuck on one team gets stuck on the wrong side, and they
ring around the rosy.
Yeah, ring around the rosy, toilet bowls, whatever you want to call them. It's the mid where both teams just end up on the wrong side of mid, and it's risky. Sometimes you do that mid, and just one team once you start losing, you just can't escape. You're just stuck there, and it's an absolute tragedy.
Yeah, it's something that I don't know if teams will exactly. It kind of depends on the team, realistically, because it is very easy to execute in terms of you're kind of just deathballing together as 6 for the most part. So it's really easy to make sure you're all covering each other. You're doing a healthy amount of baiting properly, like you take a little bit of damage, but make sure you don't accidentally feed for it or make space for your teammates beside you to go in and jump on the person that's going after you, etc., etc. It's also very easy for you to focus fire because you're all in the same location if you're doing that. But like you said, if that play where you're all together does not work and you just trade sides and you start to lose, there's no escape. So doing that play is very all or nothing. You are not like, oh, we've lost 1 early, let's just leave and hold 2. No, you are not getting out. So, it's a little bit give and take. Do you do a easy on paper strategy to execute when it comes to coordinating with your own teammates, but has a really heavy cost if you lose? Or you do something that's a little bit more traditional in terms of splitting your teams up, and you have that fail-safe of being able to back out because you're near your own cafe or near your own valley if things goes awry.
Yep. And on that note, we do have finally all 6 or 12 players in the server, with Speedy, contrary to his name, being the last player to join the server. So yeah, we do have 12. We're expecting one team is, I believe, GCI had Speedy join and then immediately readied up. So we're right now just waiting on a G6 to ready up. I had to think of the team name. Also,
Yeah, they both start with G. This is gonna get
yeah,
confusing.
it's like the Sin thing from last season. You can't escape it. It's just really it really does be like that. Also, on that note, if you had to look for standout players, who would you consider out of all these players to really be you would expect to be the standout player on this map? This match.
I think for the side of GCI, maybe like Shamu or Exile. Exile just because he seems like he's doing pretty good this season. Maybe one of the better seasons he's had so far in his like him playing Invite, and Shamu mostly because he seems to be more of, even though he's playing Pocket Scout, he tends to go for plays and a lot of stuff like that. For the side of G6, I'd also kind of attribute it to the same thing, yeah, but maybe like Rakuso or bot mode in terms of making giant plays.
Every time I watch Rakuso, I'm just like, wow, that guy's doing pretty good. So
we're live though.
Yeah, so, we'll see. It continues going on to
predictions.
Going on the first mid here. I'm gonna say, I think GCI needs to get back on the board. 5 for GCI.
We'll see what happens. Immediately, bomb into Logan, popping up the air. Speedy will fall, though, so a lot of damage, but no kills arrowed up, so it's going to be okay for now for the side of the red team. Yeah, they are a little bit weak, though. They do have the one player advantage if they can get the Synth healed. Ether does fall in the backline, jumping on Exile, separated from his team. Nowhere near Sky, going to dance around a little bit, but will eventually fall. So 3 down for the side of GCI as they try to chase down Zam. He's pretty weak, but Caps is weak himself. Caps will have the last word, though, making sure that kill's collected. And Soapy on the chase, super deep, almost into the shutter, but not quite with the timing to make sure that either of Shamu nor Sky can get collected. So at the end of the day, a pretty decisive victory for the side of G6, only really losing bot mode there. So especially with the kills they've collected, 2 should be free as well.
Yeah, we did talk about the fast roll and it happened there, but Logan did a good job there, just barely staying alive. So because if he died there, that mid would have gone very, very differently. But being down that soldier does make the mid kind of rough, and but GSAT did do a good job of having Sky live and backup, so then they had full Uber for last, and I think Soapy just tried to sack and somehow got out, so that's interesting to note. And
he jumped into some stickies or something.
Yeah, I saw his health drop down, and then I saw him like do the sad walk of shame away.
Oh, he just jumped into the ceiling. He jumped into the door frame, and it just completely stopped himself in his own tracks.
Yeah, I failed that jump a couple times in it happens. Exile. Is that Logan? Logan just was littering stickies on last, but we're just waiting, gone to an early stalemate, just waiting on the sack to actually get into last. They do have a level 2 coming up in the secret position. Oh, that's being moved, actually.
Oh, I wonder if they heard of that voice line. I don't think so, though.
Yeah, no Laz in the server like last time we watched Sunshine.
And it looks like they're trying to break through the left-hand side for the side of the offensive team, trying to get some damage onto the gun or speed to just get more space as much as possible. Exile rotating over to sticking them up, so they are going to get the gun very low, but it is going to just barely live just a sliver of HP. I guess it's not really a sliver, but it's pretty low, but Zam will go ahead and heal it up. So I guess they just want to try to get this free before they actually sack. A little greedy, maybe, get a pick that's on someone who's a little bit too aggressive, or find a way to spam the gun. But Soapy going in after he hears the voice line, I can only assume, or maybe just coincidence, but a lot of damage onto Exile. Zam as well dropped to both red HP, but bot mode will fall. Soapy barely getting out of there, and Shamu, Speedy on the chase, working the way in the lobby, but the red team completely got out of there onto their own 2.
Yeah, there's definitely a universe where that double sack gets 2 kills. There were 2 players who were extremely very hurt there, but they just weren't able to clean up the last like 15 points of damage there. And red kind of escaped there with a little bit of a miracle. We do have Speedy. Is he checking off classes, or is he actually on spy?
He's checking.
Okay, he's checking.
I think they know bot mode's on sniper.
Okay, yeah, that's heads up play.
So.
Yep. Here comes the early sack from Soapy. Actually gonna get Zam, so he does get the 1-for-1 trade, but they also know that bot mode is on spy, so, or not spy, sniper. So first shot, yeah, that's Shamu just spotted him, so the first shot advantage is kind of lost already.
Yeah, a lot of damage on him as well, so he's gonna have to back up and get healthy before he peeks again. What's that? Where was that shot even from? I guess someone peeked top right and got headshot. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, something like that. Bot mode gonna like to take this slow. I don't blame them for taking this slowly. They have the luxury of time, and getting that first run on the board is such a nice thing, especially after winning the first mid.
They see Shamu snipers though. They spotted it, so might see an SVS here soon, depending on if their sight lines match up. But it seems like they're just trying to take it slow for the most part. They're willing to go ahead and take this at a slow pace and try to burn a little bit of time off the clock, which, I mean, the match just started, so you don't feel really pressured to get the ball rolling. Especially, I think G6 probably is confident that they're going to do well, and that confidence gets a victory, yeah.
And that's a 20-second respawn for Shamu, so that's definitely a big advantage to work off. And they're going to eat a pipe or something and drop pretty low. Speedy also going to drop low, so these soldiers, okay, Baba's going to go for a hero shot and sadly not hit it, so in the end it ends up equalizing. Both snipers dead, unable to collect the kill. I guess Bomb got a kill, but in the end, he couldn't equalize. And
the kill you want.
Back to square one. XL setting up a funny trap in lobby. He's putting up the he's. I can't tell if he missed that or if he put the stickies on that wall intentionally.
I don't think that's intentional, but who knows? So.
Oh, he dead and no one was there. Sag.
Sniper again for bot mode. He saw the first kill happen. He's like, I can get this. Just give me another hero shot. So, up entering lobby
Sniper's
once again. Try number 2.
You gotta believe in yourself. You fail the first time, you can't be afraid to just try it again. It's honestly a lot of it's confidence in a. Now Pablo gonna take that first shot, gonna rotate here with the 185 buff. We do have to move back on the sniper. Not buff though, so if he takes this SVS, there's a good chance he does not end up on top. But Pablo gonna eat the headshot and actually get healed back up and gonna go for give it the old try.
Trying to find an angle where he can get someone, but it's actually Logan that's going to be dying. That is a very huge pick. Soapy as well. Ether getting that kill. So that is a 2-man. That's a really weak hold for the side of G6 and making sure that they can prevent like some sort of counter stack happening from GCI. XL is actually leading the charge. The first one peeking. Might be a little bit alone. Might be chasing after him. Cap's getting a little bit aggressive, but the rest of the team floods in from the side of GCI. Getting on top of the platform. The sniper does exist. Damage on a Howard. Will finally pop, losing Ether for that, but some damage onto the GCI will actually make them fourth. Separation though. Sky get a bit separated from Zam, so the chase is not as great as they want it to. Damage over on the Valley side. Caps is just causing chaos. He's creating so much space. They actually walk back through Valley, bombing in as Raguso onto the scout. Won't quite hit the mark, but
Valley, he's gonna live.
Yeah, they kind of failed to lock them out. GCI, they shoot him out pretty well, but they did not lock those doors out whatsoever. Caps causing so much of a distraction. They couldn't. They had to kind of switch up what they were focusing on.
Zam gonna get the kill on bot mode, so I think bot mode on Sniper really kind of thwarted their plans there. The fact that they lived for so long, because I'm sure they wanted to be more aggressive and lock out the doors, but they just they couldn't peek without worry of just instantly losing a player to the sniper and then getting rolled back to last. So I think I'll give them the heads up there for actually backing out of the second push and not losing anyone.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes if teams sneak through doors without you realizing it, they can just collapse on you before you're able to properly escape. So I think they kind of recognize it, like, oh, because we're not holding Cafe, we're probably not going to be able to hold this. So they're passive enough where they're able to get out just cleanly. So back to a stalemate on last. It's going to be Zam on Sniper instead, going to have his try at counter sniping. But joke's on him, it's not a bomb, or it's not a sniper, it's a bomb instead coming from the side of Soapy. He actually gets 2. He gets Shamu and Ether.
You'll take it. 2 for 2, so we're in a 4v4 scenario right now, and actually Rakusa's gonna go and try to get something with the players down, but
Logan's in 2.
Sky in. Yeah, and Sky is in spawn. It's hard to kill a medic when they're just hiding in spawn. That's a heads up play from Sky. They're can't get forced if they can't shoot you.
And Speedy's on banner. He's blown it though, so it's gonna be difficult. I mean, they want to. They'll use it now so they can try to get through without using through these doors. Especially
Sky does get out the door, so they are in second, and they're actually just gonna pop off this banner. I respect it. They take a lot less damage off this if you don't have to worry about getting crit or anything. So definitely big plus. Soapy gonna get bullied out of Valley, and here comes Rakusa also in Valley. Gonna take a 1v1 Speedy. Speedy's gonna just barely win that. So like a G6 down 3 players for just Shamu, and Red dropped.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Where did that happen? Just on mid? I was watching.
It was on mid. It was just like a spam rocket. It was like a 48 damage spam rocket. It was crazy. It was like, I think.
Yeah, I just saw it on the stream. Just barely.
Yeah. So that's a really big play for not like a G6. The other team, GlobalClan Ice, and I'm gonna get confused about that one all game too.
For sure. The banner, I kind of threw him for a loop, though. It seemed like G6 didn't know. They were kind of backing up, but they didn't want to completely leave. I guess they were just trying to wait it out, but their flank just got completely decimated in the drop after his insult to injury. So now GCI are out of their last. They have an Uber out of work. Then it looks like Valley is their door of choice. Yeah, it looks like they are gonna get through here. XL actually got a bomb earlier. They're gonna pop. I don't know if that was I don't know if Sky felt like she got forced. She was at 150. Soapy's behind, they wanted a demo bomb, and then
they wanted a demo bomb. Soapy's behind, too, so she might have worried about Soapy landing on her. Soapy's actually all the way back in, mid. He's just now starting to get back for a fight. Yeah, that's going to be very annoying to deal with. He's definitely going to wait until his team pushes through, and they're starting to poke through now, poking around, up in bats. Howard taking a little bit of damage, some spam coming from Exile, as well as some of the soldiers backed by Cafe. Soapy's in a spot where he could go in for a flank right now. He's trying to initiate getting some damage onto Sky, but Speedy will get that kill cleaned up. Sky backing up, and some chaos happening inside around, I think, either out of the shutter, inside lobby, but the red team will finally bust their way through. They still have this move to work if things get 30%.
close enough.
Yeah, this all depends on if Red really wants to take this Uber ad. See how aggressive, how well they're tracking these Ubers. Sky's at 20% now, so they have like the razor thin margin to get in, and they have Uber ad. Yeah, they know that it's too close. They're gonna just back up and chill out and post up on second and try their luck there. So now it's on GCI, who I feel like first time really they're in the driver's seat here. They're holding mid and they're able to actually start doing sacks of their own and not be on last.
They actually have the ball in their court and can make some decisions here, but got to take a look at the way that G6 is holding and figure out what's best for you. It seems pretty standard. I don't think there's anything too crazy, but then again, it's Sunshine second, so it's not like you have tons and tons of choices, really. Howard jumping back and forth between the two pieces of high ground, so GCI, they got a couple of options. It's really what they really feel like they want to do. They have 3 different doors, a bunch of different ways they can try to go in for 2-mans or 1-mans or whatever they want, but they're in Cafe now trying to cause a little bit of a distraction. Might be soldier bombing in from Choke as they distract Cafe maybe.
And Speedy's still in the banner, so this might actually be part of their play too, is just spam with the banner, and I don't blame it,
That is true. Especially the last banner. The last banner worked out well. I'm sure
I've been on a
like fine with it.
I actually, I remember when I played demo. Here it comes. I said on Sunshine last, you can run banners. I believe it was Saffrix who suggested it. And definitely where Soapy instantly gonna get nuked. He's gonna crater too. Oh, this is massive. Rakusa's also hurt. He's gonna fall. They get 2 kills without even popping Uber here, and everyone's so hurt.
Yeah, they just decimated the flank entirely, and G6, they kind of give up the side of Cafe as well. They had to go help their flank, and that just let GCI walk straight through. Damage on Logan will collect that kill, and it's just bot mode, and Howard left alive for the side of G6.
Almost gonna eat a plate
Howard.
too.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna have to go
not
back
looking,
up there.
not looking good
Though
for
the respawn advantage. The respawn advantage, though. This goes
respawn
on long
here.
enough. Red might have an opportunity to poke around. They don't have the demo, but they do have players.
Even Ubers. No Ubers are popped. Soapy's actually going to try to make a play on Exile. And they're actually going to get Exile in the means. That's the pick they needed to get back into second here. But Blue still has an Uber exchange to work with here to buy themselves some time to get their respawners here. And Shimu's on spy.
Oh, they Uber exchange and just Shamu just back capped. So much damage on the side of Soapy, but the pop will not come out. But G6, they're probably feeling confident because their Uber's so much better. Yet the spy back cap has started. Rakuso is going back to the point as well.
They get back in time. That brought everyone back though. Howard might. Oh, he got knocked up, but just barely lived. So that was, it didn't quite work out. They didn't get the round win, but that was a heads-up play, and that it did buy them some time. That they do, had time at least for mid. You would have liked to win the round off that, but it still worked out in a weird way.
Yeah, they're giving his life at the end there. So 2 dead blocked spawns for the side of G6, and with that play out and Uberad, it's looking like they're gonna try to take mid for free and then use the Uberad into 2. So GCI gonna have a hard, couple of moments ahead of him. True, he is off. So you can count that out in the GCI play. At least for
looks
now.
like the door they have chosen is Sunshine. That's where they want to go. They're actually going straight into the teeth of Blue here.
Oh, Goomba stomped onto Exile, so he couldn't actually leave. What the heck? All right, that's a dead demo man. They are going to lose Soapy, but collecting Speedy is going to be a consolation prize there. Soldier trade at the end of the day. Zam is also caught inside lobby, so he will fall. Just 3 left alive for the side of GCI, and they're trying to show some presence on last. They do have an Uber to use if a need be, but Rakuso trying to go for the Force.
Sky gets forced. Her health was too low.
Yeah, they will get that Force. Losing one, I'm sure they're A-okay with that, and GCI, I mean, they're trying to poke around at least a little bit, but there's no way they actually break out in here. They got so many people that are still respawning and are at spawn itself, so gun is going to get built up. Yeah, this is going to be something that G6 is definitely going to try to look to push off of.
The G6 never got a Uber push into last time, right? I don't think they tried that. They just
broke stalemates until they accidentally screwed up, I think.
Yeah, so this might be our actual first Uber ad push into last of the match. We'll have to see how G6's last pushes go when they actually have Uber.
Yep, starting to dwindle, but looks like they're getting ready to go. They're buying some time. This might be pretty bad if they don't get this really quickly. They are going to be able to Uber in, so
they got the gun,
level 2 gun
and they're going
play
down.
Point.
They have caps on playing point here, but the whole team is coming out to meet him. Sam might fall for. Oh, Sam does fall to a nice, splash damage from Rakusa there.
Howard's caught.
They get. This is a nuke collapse. Soapy is going to try to come in for a power play, though. They left the point open. Can they stop Soapy? And here comes another soldier bombing. And look at this coordination. They might get the point off this.
Oh,
Rakusa's on the point. He got it.
The greed from GCI, they figured, yeah, they're all leaving, let's go kill them in lobby, but they left no one. I didn't even see what door it came through. I think it was Rakusa was definitely top left.
Both
I don't know about Soapy, but either way.
And staggered their bombs.
So I guess in the heat of the moment, didn't split your doors properly trying to get inside lobby. No one went top left, and that's going to be a round converter for the side of G6.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a miscommunication or they just got a little too greedy on their doors, but that's G6, they get on the board 1-0, and if they're, definitely back to the drawing for like a GCI and pushing out. And speaking of which, on this mid, I'm seeing a lot of damage getting traded, but no one's actually getting that hurt. Here comes a high bomb from Rakusa, gonna land on a scout, and actually they're gonna land on Sky, but Sass gonna surf out into bot mode, and bot mode's gonna clean her up.
Yep, medic collected, so they're gonna play this slow. I can only assume for the side of G6. There's one in front, one behind, gonna clean up that side of the sandwich. Ether going down, just Speedy, left alive, bomb damage onto bot mode, but will not clean the frag. So had some casualties, but at the end of the day, G6 will come out on top, and definitely a fan of the early damage they're doing for the side of GCI. I think early you said that they were kind of, it looked okay in terms of damage, but right off the bat there spells a lot of good potential for the amount that they can hurt Exile and Sky really early to collect those frags when they bomb.
Yeah, when G6 bomb, there's so much chaos happening. I feel like their bombs are just actually like everyone's just looking which way. It's total chaos. I feel like when they bomb, more so than normal.
Yeah, I don't think Sky even realized that bot mode was behind her when
she had to surf from one soldier into another soldier, surfed away from him into a scout. It was like a no-win scenario for her.
Pretty much. Sometimes you just gotta die, unfortunately. But gun goes down from the Uber. Cap's
Here
gonna
comes the
point.
cap time. Oh, Cap's gonna get nuked instantly. Recruits gonna fall too. Howard's gonna fall instantly. So as long as they don't push out a last in properly again, there should be an easy second for GCI.
Yep, Soapy is still around. Will get cleaned up for the side of Zam, and Logan pretty much out of there wants to preserve his life.
That got found, so that's pretty much it. So that was kind of a textbook last hold for GCI. They just, I feel like G6 didn't have that bad of a plan. They got in, they tried to play the point, but their point player literally went 185 to 0 in like 2 ticks.
Just sticky traps galore. Exile got a lot of kills there. But
Zam might fall getting in the flank a little too early, and now bot mode and Recruits are trying to go behind, so like the behind players, like I said, they're going. Now Speedy's gonna take the 1v1 with bot mode, actually gonna win the 1v1. That's huge, because that means the rest of his team can, kind of relax, not worry about players going behind. But Shamu actually gonna fall to Caps, getting very aggressively. Looks like now the combo's getting bullied by G6.
Yep, no scouts despite having Uber out on Sunshine. That's a little bit rough. That's probably going to be the nail in the coffin for your push, at least for now.
They are going to get Zam
up, but Zam's still rolling out. This map is very large. I think this might have spelled the end of their push realistically, having both scouts die.
Yeah, definitely rough. It looks like they are picking up. Oh, they want to go anyway. They want to take the.
It's not added anymore.
They want to take the Uber exchange. I don't know if they know it's. I think they know this is an exchange at this point. There's a Sophie is behind.
True, that is something to think about. Damage on Logan. Rakusa actually dropped to 10 HP. He's gonna have to peace out as well. And the back cap
going for the back cap, and here comes the Uber exchange onto Howard. Howard does get forced here. Speedy is gonna go try to fight Sophie on the point, and he's blocking the point. Now it's a 2v1 on second, and they're sending more people back.
Yeah, both soldiers went back versus a scout and a soldier as well. But bot mode, the sole survivor after the whole thing said and done on the side of 2, will complete the back cap. So everything happened in mid, all for naught. Just Scott
no one
Exile
can
left
reach there in time. It's just Exile to try to. I don't think he can. Exile, sticky jump Exile.
Yeah, not quite fast enough. Only so much mobility, the Demoman class, and the back cap attempt we've talked about before, and before the match started, the back caps, it can be harder, but definitely still very viable.
Yeah, it's very viable.
Yeah, definitely pulled it off.
Yeah, that shows it there, and they tried it not once but twice, and they got it the second time during the push in from GCI. So yeah, you were a little hesitant when you saw them pushing in, and I can see why. Definitely, the Uber exchange went okay, but it was the Exile. Oh no. Logan died too, though. That's okay. Everybody's dying.
Yeah, they just trade demos and soldiers. So 4v4 mid fight is pretty unique when there's no dome spam on the board and only just one soldier to work with.
2 soldiers. This is going to be just a scout fest galore.
This is extremely awkward. I think this comes down to who hits their shots and who hits better spam.
If like a soldier hits a really nice direct, you can maybe push off that. Like that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, you have one spamming class, so realistically it comes down to does one scout just like completely maul one of the scouts with meat shots or not.
Yep.
The name of the cap, also Shamu.
And one scout is going to fall very low here, so Caps is going to take some damage. Here comes the reinforcements, and they get Rakusa rolling out, I believe. So that's that's the one pick that's
forced, though.
Sky did get forced. That was, who was that, Bobo?
Yeah, he snuck in and also lived behind as well, so he's going to be a nuisance.
Yeah, at least he can't back cap, but that's not that much of a consolation because Red is coming right back in with full Uber.
And they caught Shamu too, so they're going to be
Exile
difficult. Oh no, Exile! 2 lives in a row. That's gotta be unfortunate, but This seems like it's going to be a free second for this side of G6 after all is said and done. And they still have their Uber too. You do have Speedy behind. It's causing a little bit of distraction. Rakuso is giving some attention to him, as well as bot mode kind of lingering behind to continue finishing this cap, but it will go their way, as well as I'm second pretty sure. They're just going ahead and getting into lobby and might get ready to push last while the rest of their team caps already.
Yeah, they're just already in, and you know, I don't blame them. And Shimu actually gonna die in the spawn door as the engineer class, I believe. So they don't have that much point time. That's their one kind of consolation here. But XL has a scout in his face. He has to win this 1v1 and block the point. It's not looking very winnable.
Yeah, they honestly were barely set up for this last hold. Realistically, I think their gun was like level 1. It was just kind of a
Sky at 99% too. That's so sad. I think it was Assault though.
Yeah, I think it was. I think the HUD showed 100, but it was just the HUD glitch where you're like at 99 and it just gives it to you.
I think it said 99. She would have popped if she had.
Yeah. That would have bought a lot of time, but at the end of the day, the half will go to G6. They're pretty dominant. I mean, the start was a little bit slow, even though it was in a dominant position. It took them a little bit to get something going when they were like taking the enemy teams too and holding on to it for so long, trying to break into GCI's last. But eventually, a lot of these the stalemates, you know, they were able to get something out of them at the bare minimum. And the transitions were very dominant as well. It definitely goes to show with the round conversions here. But we can take a little bit of look at the stats and see what catches our eye. Got anything that you notice right off the bat?
Both medics didn't die that much. I do see that the scouts for like a G6 are having much more of a fun time than the scouts on GCI. The scouts on GCI do not have the traditional scout. Actually, the soldiers and scouts kind of swapped KDs on GCI somehow.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. No one's stats look particularly like sad per se. Like, you know, sometimes
Sophie died a bunch, but he got 2 spoons, so that makes up for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you'll see a 3-0, and you'd be like, oh, at least one player's stats are going to be, like super garbage, right? But it seems respectable. Like, it's...
Yeah, the saddest are the scouts going negative. That's probably the saddest thing in the server.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, everyone's DPM is, like, kind of on the lower end because of how slow the match kind of started. So no one's... But, I mean, relative to each other, like, you would sometimes, like, look at matches like, oh, one demo went 30 and 10, and the other one went 10 and 20. But, like, there's... when you compare all the classes, like, it makes sense that G6s are a little bit better, but there's really not a... I guess the only thing that's super different is that Caps won 11 and 4. Other than that, I think the differences are, like, pretty... not much of a big deal.
I think overall this match... I think that... G6 is playing very well, but I'd say that GCI is... I think it's less of G6 outplaying them and more of GCI just having absolute catastrophes that are sinking them. I think it's definitely I think G6 are playing very well, but it's more of just like GCI misplays leading to disasters that are kind of sinking their rounds. Yeah,
the push out of last where they didn't cover all the doors, so they just got back cap. The push in the mid when I'm gonna assume they thought it was ad, but it actually wasn't, and then it just like was a really awkward like Uber exchange that just took too long, and then they got back capped. Like so far, it's been. I feel like it's kind of been these back cap plays. Not that like, I think it's been back cap plays that G6 have found a lot of success in.
Pause.
I think they did pause. They probably readied up. And then, like, as soon as they, like, paused for something right when they started.
Yeah, so we're in the... You guys can't see it on your thing. You just see the stats. But we have the classic halftime pause. The rare and famed halftime... Oh, there it goes. And they unpaused.
At least it wasn't too long.
Yeah. It might have even just been like a... Oh, we started the round and our med lagged out. Let's just pause until our med gets back. One of those kind of deals.
Or the super classic... Wait, one of our soldiers is AFK. Like, you turn around and you just see a soldier standing still.
All right, like, I think that's going to be a scenario. So place your bets. Who is the AFK player? Who do you think is the noob who like went to get water and didn't tell anyone? I'm going to bet... I think it'd be really funny if it was Exile, but I'm going to say Caps.
It's hard to tell because... I don't think anyone really does the go inspect when you go AFK thing. It might have definitely been lag, but I don't know. Oh, you know what? If I have to guess, Sky's internet has been historically not very friendly to her.
Yeah, true.
So it could be just be Sky lag, but either way, at least it was a short pause, and also because we see the pause, that also means we're going live pretty soon. So, you know.
Either that or somebody just did a meme pause, which does... I don't think we have any, maybe bomb mode. I don't know.
I mean, that's true. They could have just paused in pregame as like
a
joke.
There are the meme pauses. I've seen them. Oh,
no, we're going live. Okay.
All right, I'm watching GCI. I'm gonna watch the GCI spawn, see who is AFK.
I'm watching G6. I'll see if anyone freezes.
No one's AFK.
Alright, then I guess it just was lag, and we'll see what happens. We
Yeah.
are going live into the second half between GCI and G6. G6 currently leading 3-0 on this map of Sunshine.
Yep, and it looks like no demo is gonna get spooned too early. Oh, there's the pause. So, well, I was gonna say nobody got spooned. Exile got spooned. Oh, they unexect.
Oh.
Exile went down and got spooned, and then they re-exect.
And then Ether's jump got unbound as well somehow.
How does that happen?
I don't know. He says in chat, my jump got unbound.
Please help with this period. But that absolute disaster is happening on the side of GCI here.
Floor soldier.
Yeah, that's that honestly the most Chad form of soldier is just the waddle like shotgun spamming soldier.
I'll get there when I get there.
Yeah, it's the final boss pocket. You just just the absolute final boss of the team. Everyone else dies, and there's just a 300 HP pocket sitting there.
The MGE main that only plays the flat arenas or ammo mod that doesn't really rocket jump. You're like, no, I'll just walk there. It's fine.
Who was the last great like waddle pocket? Was it Dame? I don't know.
It's honestly hard to tell.
Psy probably.
You could go back like however long and find plenty of good examples. Honestly,
I'm just thinking like the last like notable one. I probably Psy's the most person that most recently do it.
Yeah, I think the one that probably did it like extremely consistently was probably Rando.
That's true. Yeah.
I wouldn't say Psy, because Psy plays a lot of demos, so he like flips back and forth.
He does.
Stuff. And there was the one season on Ford where we actually like made him do gunboats. So
you have to force him to do gunboats.
Just for mids, so he could actually like jump during mids with Trip.
I'm just imagining the conversation, and it's very amusing in my head.
Well, we are going live for real this time. Fingers crossed about jump getting unbound, and we are going to be seeing what happens. These teams have had plenty of time to talk about what they want to change, even like little things that they maybe forgot, like while all these shenanigans were happening. So unfortunate happens, but
he's going Valley. Actually, he's going Valley.
It's not gonna matter. It's gonna be okay.
He didn't even take the pack. He's hurt. He gets a nice early sticky out of Recruso though, and he's actually doing he did some decent early damage. Soapy's gonna fall a little low. Gonna get bowed though. Actually, both teams are kind of face planting into each other. Some fake bombs coming out. There is a bomb in from Soapy, I believe.
Yeah, the G6 soldiers are actually really weak, so they couldn't really do a whole lot of early damage. So the high ground favors GCI right now. They are able to get bot mode, but they're losing Exile and Speedy. Some players lost, and G6, they have an opportunity. Bombing from Ether onto Howard, gonna get some damage. The direct rocket will miss, and Howard will survive. Sky and the rest of GCI are getting out of it. They do get Soapy. It is a 3v4, but Logan has a position to lock out the chokes. They are not going to test those waters. Just settle for the fact they get to exist on their own too. And the mid will be taken by the side of G6.
Here comes a bomb in from they're trying to get Sky, and Sky does eat a nice rocket, but surfs it out. And actually, both scouts got nuked. Oh, see, if Shibu dies here, this hold is over. Okay, Shibu didn't die fortunately. Exile is here to help lock out and do some damage here, but Sky's gonna eat like a kind of a miracle pipe from Logan there. So Sky's gonna have to play further back. This might actually signal that the Sky's gonna have to wait for the pack, and they're gonna take the aggression off. The Sophie is gonna fall. Oh, she gets Sky.
Just barely. I need to see that on the stream. I'm watching a couple seconds delay just to see. It was the miracle rocket to just barely go around the corner, and Exile jumped. Sky says Exile jumped over it. That's why she didn't pop, because she thought Exile would eat it, and then Exile pressed his spacebar. So the Uber comes in from the side of G6. There's only 2 left alive for the side of GCI. Sky respawns, but with the Exile the only person to heal. That is going to be another round converted for the side of G6. You always got to hate when that happens. Yeah. You think it's, someone else eat the damage, and then nope, just spacebar.
Yep, that's, everyone's, I see in the chat, always blame Exile. On that note, she's very much on their back foot here, down 0-4 going to this mid. They need to pull out all the stops. They need to pull out some, like, technology, They need to definitely pull out some technology.
Yeah, if you had anything hidden,
if you
have
definitely some secret
play now.
Oh, Sophie, he's in.
He gets the spoon onto Zam, still surfing up the staircase, a scout down, and with Sunshine being such a scout favorite map, I'm sure he's pretty happy with that. So 5v5 scenario, but a little bit of a different class situation going on. You might expect some damage onto Speedy, gonna make it hard for him to go in as well as Ether. the entirety of GCI is so weak, and Exile's just out in no man's land. Gonna start to get pressured by a little bit by the side of bot mode, but Shamu coming to save him. Rakusa taking the high ground, and Speed's actually gonna fall to a sticky from Logan. High ground advantage from the side of Caps, preventing any sort of initiation coming from the side of GCI. So with Ether behind and the rest of GCI not in a good position, it seems like they're going to concede the mid. And oh, Soapy, he's in. He wants blood. He gets onto Zam, but not quite hitting the spoon.
Living. No, he lived.
Just barely.
Rakusa doing a fake bomb. I must say, I think out of anyone, Soapy's had the most fun on this match, and Ether's behind, I just noticed.
Yeah, he's been snaking around. Oh, he's trying to get out. Not quite, though. Oh, the ball into Howard.
He tried the pogo and, like,
oh, no,
his rocket, like, went to some, I don't know, this rocket just went somewhere strange, and he was not able to successfully jump out. Soapy, wait, Soapy's in again.
Yeah, I think Rakusa was a fake bomb, and they're actually going to get Zam. He was a little bit aggressive damage on him, but Soapy will lead by the side of Speedy. Speedy will fall. They're on this platform still, but GCI getting back into the corner. Sky getting really weak, 50 HP. Has to be careful. The Sand Rocket will finally get the force. Rakusa will try to jump out. Is he going to live? No, he does die to fall damage. The arrow does not hit. And Shamu just blasted forward by the stickies from the side of Logan.
But they're trying to get collapse here. This actually might work out. They get Logan here. Howard might have to use. No, Howard's going to milk that. They do get Sky in the back end, though, so Howard...
He's going for it. Damon in a bot mode.
Ooh,
he is able to clean him. So much damage. Ether coming in to help.
Ether. Oh, this might be the... Howard has actually milking this so hard, it's insane.
They're still fighting this. They're just taking turns going back into the lobby, taking packs and stuff.
Get something here. They know that, yeah. You know,
bought time for Speedy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even though those didn't work, they bought time for the engineers. Sky is up. People are gonna be buffed. So that actually kind of ended up like, you know, they didn't get the full cake, but they got, you know, they got some of it. They got some consolation prize there. But they're down again. They're down 0-4. So they have to hold last first.
Yep, Uber coming in. Logan might die to this trap. No, wasn't watching it, but it's going to be bot mode instead that does die to it. So one player down from the side of G6. Immediately onto the soldiers over on this right-hand side, getting Soapy very low, killing Rakusa. Ether and Shamu will fall, so it's a 4v3 scenario, and the rest of G6, they saw how early those kills happened and how awkward the positioning was. They're out of there very, very quickly, out to the enemy teams too, and Exile, he's already peeking the shot. He wants to retake two for his own.
Yeah, Exile has no fear, and we'll see how that works out for him, but the rest of the team's getting down. They are down a couple of players here. The big kill from Zam, they're getting people, but Soapy, did Exile get spooned again? I think he got spooned.
He got popped up into the air, but bot mode is behind.
And surfed it into the skybox.
Yeah, something, but Rogan, he's very, very aggressive, and Sky left without a heal target.
Or just Sky alone. Somebody help her. Okay, there we go.
Many deaths on both sides, but at the end of the day, there's enough presence here for the side of GCI to retake second, and they still have this Uber if the enemy team does get close enough. Logan is showing himself, so they know where stickies might be, at least for now, but it seems like they're content not going to make the mistakes of last time.
I feel like Soapy might just full send and try to keep spooning until it stops working. I don't know. That's the way it's looking.
I mean, you're 4-0, so...
Yeah, it's 4-0. There's definitely a point in this match where if it goes on long enough, we will see some tomfoolery coming out. That's my prediction, if it goes on long enough.
I would say if you're 4, you're definitely more willing to do things that are high risk because the...
Yeah, I mean, he was doing it before when it was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even more so. If he's already doing it now, I don't see why he would stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's been
here comes both soldiers. Soapy's going behind. Rakusa fake bomb. I actually like that play. Now Soapy's behind. He does get cleaned up there. I wish there was a little more, like, spam off of it.
No scout follow-up.
Yeah, no scout follow-up, no spam. Yeah. We'll have to see, but I like that play in theory if the rest of his team does just, like, watch that happen, but it's on GCI to do something here. They have to start like doing stuff. That I feel like if they play to not lose, they are going to lose because they are down 4 rounds with 23 minutes left. So
yeah, I mean it's unfortunate because Speedy was the target of like the bomb.
Yeah,
they probably don't want to push off of one. Yeah, he's the sack person. He's a person that if it's time to feed, then he will volunteer and go ahead and do it. But
I think GCI's at the point where like, Soapy's in.
Try number 2. Sky very
Sky had to pop that. Bot mode is right around the corner.
And there's the 2-man. Bot mode actually making sure the Speedy is collected. That probably what should have happened last time. 1v1 versus Zam, and the counter will come from the side of G6. They are going to collect Shamu and Sky at the very tail end of Zam, trying to salvage anything he can, but it's a complete clean wipe. Soapy will respawn, and with one person left to cap and the other 4 members of G6 going on to the point, this is looking like a GG.
Yeah, it does look like a GG, and definitely a very, I'd say, dominant showing from like a G6. That I think, again, like I said before, I think they really did a good job capitalizing off of GCI's mistakes. And I also think that GCI definitely, I'm not going to say the bombs got in too deep, but the bombs from like a G6 were like unreasonably effective sometimes.
Yeah, there were a
They were
couple
getting
times
like
where
3 to 4 rockets off on Sky.
yeah, I mean, at a certain point, it just comes down to expectations and are you prepared for the certain things that are going to happen. If the timings are really good by the side of G6, where these bombs from Mercuso and Soapy are coming out, where everyone else is preoccupied, you're going to have your hands full a little bit. But at the end of the day, G6 coming up top with a pretty swift 5-0 victory. It didn't feel like this. I mean, I think it's probably a normal length match, but at the end of the day, pretty clean. Not a round dropped.
Let me see how many. Okay, Soapy got 3 spoon kills with 1,000 damage. So that means he definitely hit more spoons than actually killed people.
Yeah, people probably got popped from the air from him or something.
Yeah. So Soapy, making miracles out there. The spoon overall very dominant showing from like a G6. Yeah, just I don't know if there's really that much more to say. Just very dominant showing overall.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at the combined logs to get an idea of what the second half had in store when it comes to you know, compare. The first half it was pretty even for the most part, but maybe second half tells a little bit of a different story. Do you notice anything right off the bat, or is it pretty much all the same?
Let me look. Oh, I'm on the first half stats. That's why they look the same. That explains a lot. Let me open the second half stats. Let's see. Okay, we have some sad soldiers on GCI. We have a lot of very happy players on like a G6. We have 7-1 Logan. Yeah, 8-1 Caps. That's just the roll. These are like roll kind of stats.
Seems like Soapy was definitely the the martyr for his team allow like people like Caps and Logan to have these these monstrous stats. I'm kind of surprised to see that Sky only had 5 deaths. You'd think
Sky did a good job not dying. Sky did a good job not dying, but she also she was in positions where she either had to pop or die. You know what I mean? She was definitely put in scenarios where it's just I could see her health in the position she's in, and it's just there's she has to just force this Uber or they're gonna lose, and that's I think some medics are trying to milk that and drop, but Sky chose to pop those, and I don't think it was gonna make a difference either way. They were just, but she did do a good job not dying.
Pretty respectable for losing the 5 rounds, but at the end of the day, not quite enough. And G6, I'm sure it's not obviously set in stone because they're still got a whole another half of the season, but with playing all these teams and many of them, your neighboring teams that you've played so far this season already collecting so many wins, looking like that G6 has kind of established themselves we're getting at least third seed, come and try to take it from us. So the story is starting to look like we're going to be looking towards the other GlobalClan teams as well as my anime list for who's sneaking into the last spot.
Yeah, and I will say, GCI definitely have their work cut out for them for the season because they definitely they drop matches. Their margin for losses for the rest of the season is becoming narrower and narrower if they want to make playoffs.
True, gonna have to definitely go ham second half of the season. You can make some adjustments and start playing some whims, but the fact that you don't have a safety net this early can be pretty uncomfortable. You have to really go, do or die in the second half of the season. And if you make one mistake, it could spell disaster.
Definitely.
I think we just at this point we're just pending for interviews.
Yeah, I'll have to see you. We do have Logan moving in. It's Logan and Soapy. Ooh.
Hello,
guys. Congratulations on your victory.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for the good content, Soapy. We appreciated the spoons.
Yeah, listen. That's what I do.
So this was the first time, at least for this season, that you guys have played a match on Sunshine. Do you have any initial thoughts about going into this match, like how you were gonna, try to play it in particular?
I don't know. We scrimmaged a lot in the preseason. We were pretty good at it. I think I don't know. The team plays pretty slow, and they sort of run a lot of off classes. And I don't know. I figured as long as we can get them onto our last and stay out of our last, we have good Sunshine mids. As long as we stay out of our last, I think we'd be fine. So we were just, if we win mids, it's all good.
Playing off momentum, because we are a momentum team.
Caps is in route, by the way, if you want to move him in.
Oh, we should move.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
There's our carry.
There you go.
What's up?
Welcome, Caps.
True, Caps did have 5 deaths that game. That's pretty impressive.
True.
Just another performance.
Fading, but
another day, another performance. It's all good.
So, for the entirety of the map, it seemed like for the most part there wasn't really there weren't many moments where you guys were looking shaky or might have been in threat of losing a round or putting yourself on the back foot at all. What do you think was the biggest thing that kind of led to your consistent success throughout the course of the map?
The mids.
Still in the mid train?
Yeah, the mids. If you can't win mids, you can't win a match. That's the way I see it.
It just makes it a lot harder if you can't win the mids.
Yeah.
Caps, do you share the same sentiment? You actually had a pretty nice stat line, so I know that you were definitely putting out a good game.
Yeah, if we have low deaths, that means that we were probably keeping pretty good track of Ubers. Like if they had ad, we probably played it well. So yeah, I mean, from a spectator perspective, it's a little boring that it was a little one-sided, but yeah, our Ubers just were better. We responded better to when they had ad. So and the meds, I guess. Sure, I agree.
Yeah, you guys got 2 back caps too. You had some good flank plays where bot mode and people were able to get behind and really cause a lot of chaos.
And that
Is that
one on
something?
mid,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that one on mid, they were like continually fighting when bot mode was back capping, and like instead of sending their whole team back, they like split up. That's probably what really messed them up.
Yeah.
Is that
was
something that you
surprised.
guys talked about that you might consider doing going into this match, or do you think it was kind of an impromptu thing? I guess that question's more to Soapy since he was going behind more than Logan and Caps were, obviously.
Me and Bomb Mode like to run behind a lot if we see an opportunity and start a back cap because we both have like a really good DM. So I'd honestly say like we probably have like the second best DM out of any like flank duo.
Soapy, you suck,
Anybody
dude.
know? You're pissed. You're so
You
pissed.
suck, bro.
I created you.
Yeah, okay. In
He
what
apparently
in what
created
universe,
everyone.
dude? I was about to swear.
Only
dude.
one person
Caps,
created me.
are we really gonna do this here?
Yeah, I don't care. You suck.
All right, well,
Oh.
there wasn't too much to really, I think, focus on when it comes to things you maybe were changing throughout the course of the game, because it looked like you guys are pretty consistent. So I guess the last thing to really think about is what the rest of the season has in store. You've had your fill of scrimming and playing matches versus a wide variety of teams throughout this season. When it comes to the second half of the season entering it, for each of you, what do you think the most important match is going to be that you have coming up?
Straight up, dude, let me tell you one thing right now. We're hard stuck third. That's what's happening right now
No,
this season.
no,
We're hard stuck third, but here,
wait,
stop,
let me
hold
pull
on.
up the
Logan,
article.
Sophie Master,
Let me pull up the
can
article.
I get it?
Stop.
Can I get a word in? Can I
No.
get a word in edgewise? Listen, recently we've been having better scrim results against the top. Well, we don't scrim Froyo ever, but we've been getting better scrim results against Witness. So before we thought we were hard stuck third, and I guess our closest competitor, as we saw it, is like below us. I mean, I guess Mal, but I don't know. I think we're kind of hard stuck third, but we've been getting better results against Witness and scrims. So hopefully we can put up better games against the top 2.
Once we learn,
I would like to read off a quote.
Okay. go for it.
September 12th, 2021
What
on the
is this,
G6
Julie?
article.
What are you
When
doing?
asked about the team, Cap spoke up. The goal is first. We're coming for the throne. Straight up. The rest of invite is dog. And I'm trying to take over.
You know what? Thank
This
you for
one
reminding
is
me.
for the G6 fandom.
Thank you for reminding me. This one's for the fandom. We're getting first. I don't give a shit.
Yep,
Being
we're
Froyo or being
winning out.
Witness.
I,
And
yeah.
we're taking home the gold.
Taking home the gold.
Sir.
Upset after upset season. That's what we like to see, boys.
Logan, what do you think about the teams? Do you share the sentiment of Mal's probably the team to get you guys where you want to be, or do you think it's a different team that is like maybe coming for you guys?
Yeah, I think Mao is probably, right beneath us, but I also think that we can contest Witness on like when we're all playing well and we have good comms. That's probably our biggest issue when we play like the, top 2 teams. It's just having quicker decision making and good decision making. We struggle with that.
We suck.
Okay.
Figured.
Well-
So we just don't know what to do.
You got a whole season ahead, or
Yeah.
a whole half a season ahead of you to kind of keep getting better and better. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen for your next match. But Spaceco, you got any additional questions, or are you moving on to shoutouts?
Nope, I just like to quote the words of a wise man who said, "Scrim results don't matter as long as you get the dub."
True.
True. All right, well, time to move over to the shoutout phase before you end the stream. Caps and Logan and Soap, you got any final shoutouts?
Yeah, shout out to my team except Soapy Meister, and shout out to
Yeah,
Charm
you're
Cork.
so
Shout out
bad.
to Charm Cork. I really want to highlight this one because she fucking. Oh, I swear it's all good. She sponsored us, and nobody knows. Nobody knows that she did that.
Yes, thanks for
And paid for all her stuff. So, thanks.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to Nixie, and shout out to all my teammates on Hood.
Soapy.
Shout out to Drifta, Maxi Krung. Shout out to all the invite teams I've been on. Shout out to my Highlander team. Shout out to Nixie. And since he's
Yawn.
on his knees begging, shout out to Perfection.
Soapy Meister.
Oh yeah,
Shout
shout out
out
to Perfection
Semi
too.
Sleep.
Perfection
Since he's
is the
on his
reason.
knees.
the
Shout out to
good.
Perfection. That's
He
facts, actually.
created
He
Logan and
created me.
Cabs.
Yep.
It's crazy that he created all of us, right? Isn't that kind of wild?
More people should play with him.
Any shoutouts from you, Space Ghost?
Yeah, shout out production, all that good stuff. I'm good.
All right. Well, definitely shout out to all the people for watching. And once again, always remember that merch is available. It's a little bit of a late addendum to the stream, but merch has and always been available and will still be available at shop.rgl.gg. Check out some of the designs. There's also some Witness Gaming merch off of their victory if you're interested in that as well. And I'm sure that designs will continually come in over time. So definitely take a peep at what's in store. If got some images on the screen right now, you can take a look and see if any of that catches your eye right off the bat. But if you're looking for more action, I think we have another cast that might be happening tomorrow. And after that, there's also Highlander that always happens on Monday, so you don't want to miss it. But for tonight, that is going to be it for us. I've been Jarrett, casting with Space Ghost with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.
Good night.